Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Wednesday, April the 3rd. We've got another bigger slate tonight. I think we got 9 games on the slate, so plenty of games, plenty of props to choose from, guys. We got 3 early picks that I do like for you guys that I'm going to share with you in this video, taking a first look at the board on Wednesday morning. 3 plays. We're going to share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, as always, if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. I do appreciate the likes. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. But also, do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can check out Sleeper, linked down below in the description, or again, just use that promo code NOAH. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $500 over on Sleeper. Now, if you don't know what Sleeper is, they are a DFS pickup map similar to Prizepicks. Really simple, easy to use. You pick over or under on player projections. You build out an entry. You're able to make up to an 8-pick entry on Sleeper, win up to 100x your money. So if you guys do want to check them out, again, use that code NOAH when you sign up for Sleeper, and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. But we got 3 picks to talk about for Wednesday today, guys. Now, I do want to recap the plays we gave out in Tuesday's video before we talk through today's plays. So we gave out 3 picks Tuesday. We hit 2 of the 3 plays we gave out. Unfortunately, could not hit all 3, but we did cash Patrick Beverley under 10.5 points. That was relatively sweat-free. Beverly only put up 2 points, played like 21 minutes. He did go to the locker room, but wound up coming back to the game. I don't know if he ever subbed back in though. But Beverly under 10.5 points was a sweat-free cash. And then we took Draymond over 21.5 PRA. That one was a little bit sweaty, but Draymond had a strong fourth quarter. Wound up cashing, I think, with a few minutes left in the game. Unfortunately, though, Isaiah Hartenstein over 18.5 PRA didn't even have a chance because Hartenstein. Not only did he play kind of poorly, he only played like 18 minutes yesterday, which I definitely did not expect. With Hartenstein's minutes trending up like they were, playing 28 and 29 minutes his last 2 games, I was expecting him to play about 28, 29 minutes yesterday, and he only played 18 minutes. So that was a frustrating one to lose. Felt like maybe if Hartenstein got the minutes, maybe he would have had a chance, but who knows. Either way, still hit 2 out of 3 plays yesterday. Hopefully you guys made some money. Did have a really good day in the Patreon as well. We gave out a 6-pick entry. Typically, I give out a 5 or a 6-pick entry on Patreon every day. Cashed out a 6-pick entry yesterday on Patreon. Put the taco in there. Put the max that I could put on at $25. Got a $625 payout, so $600 of profit yesterday off the taco 6-pick entry that I posted on Patreon. I do give out plays every day on Patreon. For those of you that are interested, it's $20 per month. Literally, it's like, 60 cents a day. And you can get access to all the Prizepicks plays I give out. Not only, the plays I give out on YouTube for free, but I also give out more plays on Patreon later in the day once more props get added to the board. Like if you look at the entry I posted on Patreon, I had a lot of fantasy scores in this entry, and that's something that I do give out on Prizepicks a lot is fantasy scores. If you're not able to bet fantasy scores, honestly, I would say probably don't join the Patreon because, I do give out a lot of fantasy score props. I come from a daily fantasy background. I started playing DFS when I was like in high school, and so I'm really familiar with like fantasy scores and fantasy sports stuff like that. I'm not really like a pro sports bettor. I'm more of a daily fantasy player, so I do give out a lot of fantasy scores on Prizepicks. We gave out 4 fantasy scores yesterday, hit all those. Took Zubac points and rebounds. That was a prop that I really liked once we got the news Kawhi Leonard was out. So if you guys want more Prizepicks plays from me, again, I provide those on Patreon. I give a write-up for every play I provide on Patreon. And also, I'll give out my favorite 2 plays of the day. So typically, I'll post my list of like 5 or 6 plays, and then I'll highlight, these are like my favorite 2 plays because a lot of people like to play like a 2-pick entry. And you can do that with my favorite 2 plays. Favorite 2 plays yesterday were the McBride over fantasy score and then the Draymond over fantasy score. But yeah, guys, check out the Patreon if you're interested. $20 per month, 60 cents a day. You can check it out, see all that I do provide over there. We got Prizepicks plays. We have a Discord chat as well. And if you do play DFS, I do give out core plays for DFS Monday through Friday if you're interested in that. So check it out. Link down below in the description. But let's talk through the picks that I'm liking for Wednesday, guys. Some early props I'm liking. We got 2 PRA props I'm liking for tonight, and then we got a rebounds prop I'm liking. So the first PRA prop that I want to talk about is going to be Clint Capella 23.5 PRA, and I like the over here for Capella. So let's talk through why I like this Clint Capella prop. And if you look at Capella's recent games, he's been going over this PRA line pretty consistently. 4 out of his last 5 games for what it's worth. The minutes have really started to trend up for Clint Capella, and that's really what it comes down to. Capella has always been a very good, per minute producer. Typically, when he plays like 25, 26 minutes, you can bet on him getting 24 PRA more times than not. And if we just look at his minutes as of late, so over their last 6 games, he only played 22 minutes against Charlotte, but that game was a huge blowout. I don't think he got any minutes in the fourth quarter. And if he did play in the fourth quarter, it wasn't for very long. But then he did play 29 minutes against Boston. He played 27 minutes against Portland. He played 33 minutes against Boston, 27 minutes against Milwaukee, and then last game, 26 minutes against Chicago. So over his last 5 games, all these games have been competitive. He's played between 26 and 33 minutes. This game against the Pistons, it does have an 11.5 point spread. But, Atlanta this season, they've not really been a team that's blown teams out very often, I feel like. If anything, I feel like Atlanta kind of disappoints when they're big favorites. I think this game will be competitive. I think Detroit can, keep up with his Atlanta team. Atlanta, they're not a good defensive team. So if anything, if Detroit can score, I could definitely see this game being higher scoring. I like Capella to play 25, 26 minutes here. And if you look at his game log lately, when he's played at least 26 minutes, he's gone over this PRA line in 8 out of his last 9 games. And over his last 25 games, playing at least 26 minutes, he's over this line in 19 out of his last 25 games. And if you look at the games where he went under, a lot of the games he went under were some really tough matchups. He had to face Orlando twice, which is one of the toughest matchups for centers. He had to face Miami, one of the toughest matchups for centers. He had to face the Bulls, not a great matchup. He had to face Milwaukee, and then he had to face Brooklyn. So really, 4 of the 6 games he went under were brutal matchups against Miami, Orlando twice, and Chicago. Even Milwaukee, Milwaukee's not the easiest matchups for centers either. So typically when we get 26, 27, 28 minutes from Capella, he's got a pretty good chance at 24 PRA. He has consistently been playing 26, 27, 28 minutes lately. The matchup against Detroit, I like a lot. I think Capella's had some success against Detroit this season. He played against Detroit December 18th. I know that was a while back, but had 34 PRA, 17 points, 15 rebounds, and 2 assists in 28 minutes. So he's had success in this matchup previously this season. The minutes are starting to trend up. The Hawks, they still don't have Trae Young. They still don't have Sadiq Bey. They don't have Onyeka Okongwu either, which I think is really big for Capella. Not having Onyeka Okongwu is just going to secure the minutes for Capella, because Okongwu was someone that we did see take minutes away from Capella at times this season. They're a lot less likely to give Bruno Fernando, 28 minutes, whereas Okongwu, they would play him around 28 minutes a lot. They're not going to play Bruno Fernando 28, 30 minutes unless Capella gets in foul trouble or it's a blowout or something. So minutes should be there. Hopefully Detroit can keep this game close. I think they can. And if they do, and we get 26, 27, 28 minutes from Capella, I like our chances at 23.5, or him going over 23.5 PRA. So that's the first prop I like for tonight. And then the next prop I like, another PRA prop, Nicholas Claxton, 22.5 PRA. Like the over here as well for Claxton. So it's kind of a similar story for Nick Claxton. He's a very good point per minute producer. It really just comes down to how many minutes will Claxton play. And if you look at his last 2 games, both of those games were blowouts. So this is the same matchup we saw last game, except this time instead of playing in Indiana, they're playing in Brooklyn this time. So I think with this game being played in Brooklyn, that does make it a lot more likely this game is competitive. Last time when they played, when the Pacers were at home, this game was a blowout. And last game we saw Claxton only play 26 minutes. He subbed out with about 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter and then never checked back in because the game was out of hand. And then the game against the Lakers, he also lost some minutes to blowout. He played 26 minutes in that game, but did sub out with about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So Claxton would have played about 29 minutes against the Lakers had that game been competitive. He probably would have played over 30 minutes last game had the game been competitive. But if you look at the previous games when he went over this line, he had a competitive game against Chicago and played 37 minutes. Competitive game against the Wizards, played 37 minutes. I think that game might have went to overtime, but still 37 minutes in overtime. And then against Toronto, he played 35 minutes. The game before the Toronto game against the Knicks, he played 31 minutes. Against Milwaukee, 34 minutes. So the minutes have really been there for Claxton when they've been involved in competitive games. when he's lost minutes lately, it's just been due to blowout. Again, we did see these teams just play, and the game was a blowout, but I think with this game being played in Brooklyn now, that makes it more likely the game's competitive. It's a 7.5-point spread, so it's not like it's a crazy high spread here. And if we look at what Claxton has done this season when he's played about 30 minutes, which lately he's been doing in competitive games, he's gone over this PRA line in 10 out of his last 11 games, playing at least 30 minutes, and he's gone over it in 21 out of his last 25 games playing at least 30 minutes. So typically when Claxton gets 30 plus minutes, you can bet on him getting 23 PRA more times than not. And lately in competitive games, he's consistently been getting 30 plus minutes. I like the matchup as well against the Pacers. The Pacers have been vulnerable to opposing centers this season. They've given up a lot of points in the paint, and that's where Claxton is really going to do a lot of his damage, is at the rim and in the paint. He is not a big man that really has much of a jump shot to him. A lot of his production, his scoring is going to come from dunks. It's going to come from putbacks, and that is where the Pacers have struggled this season. They're tied with the Wizards for most points in the paint allowed this season. So like the matchup quite a bit for Claxton. Hopefully the Nets can keep this game competitive, which they failed to do last time, but playing at home, I think it's more likely they do that. They do keep it competitive tonight. And if it is, and we get 30 plus minutes from Claxton, I like our chances at 23 PRA. So that's the second prop I like for tonight. And then third and final prop, we're going to take a look at a Naz Reid prop here. Going to look at his rebounds prop of 7.5, and I like the under here for Naz Reid, so less than 7.5 rebounds. Now, this is a really, really good matchup, and it's a really good rebounding matchup against the Raptors. The Raptors have been like the worst rebounding team in the league just kind of over the last month or so. We've seen a lot of centers have big rebounding games against the Raptors, so it's obviously it's a little bit of a scary under to take. But if you look at what Naz Reid has done this season, when he's played alongside Rudy Gobert, his rebounding numbers have not been like crazy good. I mean, he has had some big rebounding games lately. Like he did have 12 boards against Golden State. He did have 10 against Detroit. But against Denver, only had 6. Against Chicago, only had 3. Against Houston, he had 6. He has started, so we've seen Naz Reid start 9 games this season. He started their last 6 games, I believe. But I think he started 9 games total this season. And he's still under this rebounds prop in 6 out of the 9 games he has started this season. And one of the games where he did go over was without Rudy Gobert. They played the Jazz on March 16th. That game was without Rudy Gobert, and Naz Reid played 35 minutes, had 12 rebounds. Obviously, his rebounding numbers are going to see a big spike when Gobert's off the floor. But now, with Gobert playing, he's been playing, Naz Reid's been playing a lot of minutes alongside Rudy Gobert. And if we look at what he's done this season in the games he's played with Gobert, so where he started and he's played with Gobert, I think that's his last 6 games. So last 6 games, Naz Reid has started, but he's also started with Rudy Gobert, and he's still under this rebounds prop in 4 out of those 6 games. So even though the matchup's really good against Toronto, like the rebounding numbers for Naz Reid have not been super, super strong playing alongside Rudy Gobert. Over their last 6 games, Gobert has dominated the rebound chances. Gobert's averaging 24 rebound chances per game over their last 6 games, whereas Naz Reid's only averaging 11.2 rebound chances per game. He's only averaging 6.7 rebounds per game over his last 6 games as a starter. So I get why the line's a little bit higher here because it is such a good matchup. The Raptors have just been a horrible rebounding team this season, especially as of late. But there's a lot of blowout risk in this game. It's a 15.5-point spread here, so there's definitely a chance this game, is not competitive, and Naz Reid maybe loses minutes because of that. Both these teams are on a back-to-back, so maybe the Raptors come into this game with some tired legs after playing a game last night against the Lakers, having to travel. So I like this under here for Naz Reid, and I was looking at some sportsbook odds. Pinnacle, one of the sharpest sportsbooks, if not the sharpest sportsbook, Pinnacle currently has this prop minus 140 favored to go under. So they really like the under here. I like this under as well. So that'll be our third and final prop tonight. Naz Reid, less than 7.5 rebounds. And these are the 3 props, guys. 3 early props I'm liking for this Wednesday slate. If you guys are going to tell me on these 3 plays, let's hopefully hit all 3 of these plays tonight and make some money. As always, I do appreciate you guys watching these Prizepicks videos and supporting the Prizepicks content. Hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up, linked down below in the description. Or again, just use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks and get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck on this slate, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, appreciate your support. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.